dear. I expected so much more.
Hello again and welcome back to Storm Talk. Today we'll be taking a look at Alarak, the High Lord of the Alarak. You can read his little blurb and we'll take a look at his character model. The character model is very similar to how it is in StarCraft. In fact, I believe
Inaction is a symptom of
the exact same
weakness.
character model used in his co-op. I actually haven't gotten around to buying him as a co-op commander. I only play co-op with a couple of people, so I'm not all that into it. Although I have been meaning to buy him, I just haven't gotten around to it. I do love the way that his collar tendrils
you require?
are wrapped up
Get
in
on
armor,
with it.
and how like with the Talarim, even his side blades have physical blades attached to them. So yeah, he has those he can have those red side blades of his out, but if something happens, those side blades die. No, he's still got some knives on there that he can shove through your face. It's just something I've always liked about the Talarim, that a lot of their unit design is very, you know what?
Inaction is a symptom of
No matter
weakness.
what happens, you're dead. And I just kind of, I can feel with that. Let's go ahead and start talking about him as a character. So, his trait is sadism. Alarak deals 100% more damage when against enemy heroes.
Is there something you require? Get on with it.
His abilities are Discord Strike, 60 mana with an 8-second cooldown. After a short delay, I don't know what I was saying there. After a short delay, Alarak will punch in a cone shaped, aiming inwards, and it silences. Telekinesis, 12-second cooldown with a 30 mana cost. Create a force.
Inaction is a symptom
Push yourself
of weakness.
and all enemies hit towards a direction. This can be used on you, enemies, minions, I believe. And Lightning Surge. 40 mana with 6-second cooldown. Deal 90 damage to an enemy and all enemies between you and them.
Something you require? Get
75% of the damage dealt to enemy heroes returns to you as health. So, just with these three alone, you have a decent silence, you have a push-pull mechanic, and you have a self-heal. Note, 100% bonus damage to heroes. You're looking at a pretty nice assassin here. His heroic abilities are Counter-Strike. Alarak becomes protected in channels.
Is a symptom of weakness.
If an enemy attacks during that time, Alarak sends a shockwave forward and does damage. And Deadly Charge. 60 mana with a 45-second cooldown. After channeling, Alarak charges forward and deals damage. The distance is based on the amount of time it's channeled, up to 1.6 seconds.
Is there something you require? Get on with it.
So, issuing a move order while channeling will cancel, and taking damage will interrupt. So, this is one of those you're probably going to use it to charge in from like a bush or something. Although, if you can get away with it, it is a great thing to throw out in a fight. Let's go ahead and look at his skins. So we have the High Lord. We have
Inaction is a symptom of
red.
weakness.
Looks almost like a Gundam there. And then we go into like angelic white, maybe even High Templar-ish whites and golds. Very High Templar, high angelic. With his master skin, you can see his face is now in armor.
Is there something you require? Get on with it.
With the gold variation, very Ire Protoss. The golds and the reds and the oranges. And then with green, he actually looks a lot like Zeal, the Serpent Zeal. And then we have the Herald of N'Zoth, which is one of the old gods from WoW. You can see the tendrils that make up his Kala are now like wet tentacles. His face is all tentacled up. He has eyes. He did lose his blade.
Inaction is a symptom of weakness.
I mean, now he has eyes that look at everybody, which is kind of cool. Purple, which I believe is N'Zoth's color scheme. Or, it's one of the other Old Gods color schemes, sorry. And then, a third Old God color scheme. I'm not exactly sure which Old God's which. I'm not that into them. Like, the Old Gods are cool in concept, but in the game, or in World of Warcraft, they're kind of a shit, because it's like, oh yeah, you have this divine, godlike creature
Very well, I accept.
who is getting his ass kicked by a handful of standard mortals. As you can see, the N'Zoth one does, however, have its own mount animation.
So goes the chain of ascension.
Now, we are using the new map, so there is a boss camp as well as the bruiser, but we probably won't be messing too much with the boss camp. We're mostly just going to stick with the bruiser, the siege, and the dummies, as well as the standard lane. So,
Onward.
telekinesis is a pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and set cooldowns. You click, aim, throw, and this can actually be done all in a single motion.
I agree with this decision. Fine.
Get this a little bit closer to the center. Discord Strike, which is an attack, at the center facing cone, and then Lightning Surge. And Lightning Surge can be used on more distant targets, and if the Lightning Surge hits an enemy hero, you will heal, even if it hits him with the kind of stretch
The choice is clear.
overburn. So if you can hit multiple enemies with Lightning Surge, you can get a nice little bit of healing going for yourself. Now, for the most part, let's go ahead and unset, and we can select an enemy here, so I'm actually going to select Alarak himself, just to kind of demonstrate him a little bit better.
Oh, predictable.
And we'll go ahead and
yet
toggle
effective.
minions. I thought I chose Alarak. Why is Arthas Bot turned on? Oh, Arthas Bot is just Alarak's new name, apparently. So, as you can see him fighting, I do a decent amount of damage against minions, but when you really shine is when you get in here, and I just missed.
First blood.
Against enemy heroes.
The choice is clear.
100% extra damage to enemy heroes. Yeah, I mean, it is really hard to fight that. At level 1, your Q does 182 damage, your W does 50 damage, and your E does 94 damage. Now remember,
I agree with this decision.
most of this, or like I believe all of this gets doubled in reaction, or in regards to a hero. So everything from your basic attack Actually, it seems like your basic attack doesn't. Sorry, it is just ability damage. I must be losing it. Could have sworn it said basics. Ugh. Anyway, so very simple. You punch things. That is what you're built to do. And we're going to expand on that slightly. So, there isn't a lot more to show off. His skills as a
Predictable yet effective.
pusher are mostly that of he can kill heroes. So you get in there real fast. Couple of punches. Get out of the way a little bit. And this isn't a big wave, but I have a full wave coming up. And if I position myself so that I can hit minions when I'm shooting this guy in the butt, it not only heals me, but takes out his minion waves.
How terribly
And
unsatisfying.
while not extremely fast, it would be enough to get through and at least get some normal damage if they weren't so close and so fast.
More pressing affairs.
Now I'm going to
deserve
reset
my
to 1.
attention.
Choose a talent.
So, at level 1, Alarak has 1,976 HP with a 4.11 regeneration. He has 500 mana, 3 points of regeneration, an attack range of 1.5, 146 damage, and an attack speed of 1.2. So we jump up to 10.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
He has 2,814 hit points with a 5.83 regeneration, 590 mana with 3.88 regeneration, and does 207 damage.
Choose a talent. Choose
Again,
a talent.
We have 4,166 HP with an 8.59 regeneration, 690 mana with a 4.86 regeneration, 307 damage, and finally at level 30,
Choose a talent.
we
Choose
have
a talent.
6,169 HP with a 12.7 regeneration, 790 mana with a 5.83 regeneration, and 455 damage.
Oh, predictable yet effective.
This means... Level cooldown's not what I wanted to do. He also does 568 damage with Discord, 156 with Telekinesis, and 290 with Lightning Surge.
Because I will.
Making him more than capable of taking out most champions without even much of a fight. Just healed myself up a little bit. Actually, let's reset those numbers. So as you can see, main basic math, 455 with 1.2 damage. You're hitting at about 600 constantly with an onslaught. As you throw in your other abilities, those numbers start jumping, and yeah, like, there's not much more that can be said. This character is very heavy into attacking other heroes, similar to like Zeratul or Illidan. Now, let's look at his talents. There are two major lines of thoughts with his talents. The first one is sacrifice. And the other one is hero damage. I'm going to do a hero damage build first, and then a sacrifice build after. The hero damage build is what I think, in my personal opinion, suits the character better. Just pretty much everything about it is better. You're doing more damage. You're staying in fights longer. You're just able to kind of punch people harder and faster. Yeah, it's just great. Now, at level 1 we have Without Effort. Telekinesis will no longer cost mana. Applied Force. This reduces the damage bonus of Sadism by 10%, but Telekinesis will now push 20% further. Power Conduit reduces the mana cost of Lightning Surge by 15 from 40, and Wide Lightning increases the width of Lightning Surge by 50%. Now this is a toss-up for me. If you're in a lane that's going to have a lot of other people in it, so if you're in a game against, say, a 3 Vikings or just a heavy clump build, Wide Lightning's great. Otherwise, I'd probably go with Without Effort, because it basically just gives you a free spell every 12 seconds that deals damage and is pretty nice. I mean, that's 300 damage at level 30 to a enemy. And you can use it to push yourself.
Onward.
It's like, I don't think you can go over walls with it, but you can definitely get yourself out of a hard situation. So, we're going to go with that Without Effort.
I agree.
At level 4, you have Double Cross. Increases the range of Discord Strike by 25%. Also hits a perpendicular line, or adds a perpendicular line to the forward strike. Basically think the new Crossguard lightsaber. Reckless Strike. Reduce Discord Strike. Reduces the delay of Discord Strike by 0.25. That's half of the delay. But if you hit an enemy, you become vulnerable. This causes you to take 25% more damage. This kind of just feels a little weird. Like, I could understand if, like, oh, if you don't hit a hero, you become vulnerable. But it's like, oh yeah, punch your enemy, and you get weakened. Like, fuck that shit. Like, honestly, just fuck that shit. Reduce the cooldown of Discord Strike by 2 seconds. If Discord Strike hits no enemies, the mana cost is refunded, and the cooldown is reduced by 3 additional seconds. So, this permanently reduces the cooldown from 8 to 6. And if you just flat out miss, free mana and half of your cooldown. Honestly, like, these two should swap. Like, if you hit an enemy, or if you miss an enemy, 25% vulnerability. If you hit a hero, or hit more than one hero, refunded mana cost and cooldown. It just seems so weird that these two are the other way around. And then Extended Lightning. Increases Lightning's range by 20%. Now, at level 4, you're a little more into the game. If you're able to land multiple lightning strikes, or lightning surges at a single time, like maybe double and triple shots, go with that extended range. Especially if you have taken Wide Lightning. Otherwise, I hate to say it, but I think the Cycle of Discord is just the way to go. The Double Cross is kind of neat. Since there's no sacrifice, I'll probably show you that in the next one, because it just kind of looks cool, and 25% longer. But 25% longer, or 25% faster. I mean, this in 25% of the time, or a 25% reduction to cooldown, or 25% increase in range. And then this, why would you ever take this? I mean, there are some reasons why I could see that 0.25 seconds being a thing, because maybe somebody when people get used to it. But if you're being sidestepped that much, you just shouldn't be using Discord Strike unless you can set it up. Like, set it up so that you're charging as you push people into you or something. So yeah, Cycle of Discord. So as you can see here, down to 3 seconds.
Goes the chain of the
And if I hit something, it's 6. It's so weird. One thing I can say about the Cycle of Discord, however, is you can just kind of use the spell as kind of a bush poker at that point. It's like, oh, walk by the bush. Instead of wasting your telekinesis seeing if you can hit something, just dupe. Dupe. Just go poking. Anyway, side tangent. At level 7, we get Chaos Reigns. Each time Discord Strike hits a hero, its damage increases by 3, up to 45. After hitting 15 heroes, increase its damage by an additional 45. So, this means you'll increase damage by 90. 90 damage, let's just rough that up to 100. Yeah, 668 damage. Not a lot. I mean, it's not a big bonus. Okay, let's look at Endless Energy. Endless Energy, heroes hit between you and the victims permanently decrease the cooldown of Lightning Strike by 0.2 seconds up to 2 seconds. So you have to hit, if you can hit 10 heroes between you and your target, you turn a 6-second spell into a 4-second spell. 33% permanent cooldown reduction, not a bad way to go. Especially if you have been, like, Power Conduit or Wide Lightning into Extended Range, into Endless Energy. It's not that bad. And since you can target this on any enemy, in a push situation, you could get this in a lane, like, oh, I'm gonna hit Alarak. It's like, yep, just gotta keep hitting Alarak by shooting the minions behind him. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of him.
Onward.
Okay, and the last one is Thunderstruck. Reduce the damage bonus of Sadism by 10%, but Lightning Surge now slows enemies hit between you and the victim by 70%. As low as it sounds, Chaos Reigns is probably actually the best one here. If you've built up Double Cross. But outside of that, like, it is kind of a toss-up between one of these two quests, and neither of them are particularly great quests. That's a... I don't want to do math. What, like a... Yeah, I'm not doing math. Like, 0.4% up? Fuck math. No. Yeah, that's like a 40% damage upgrade for Discord Strike at the end of it, or a 30% cooldown on your heal. So, let's go with the heal. Now here, we're going to go with Deadly Charge. After channeling, you charge forward. We're going with this one just because it's the first one there. So to show this one off,
Are absolute.
you can just cancel it at any time. And go through walls. And if you try to cast it while being shot at, it just turns it off and puts it on a short cooldown.
I agree with this decision.
Well, actually, since I went with Endless Energy...
Predictable, effective.
think that's as high as it goes. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm down to a 4-second cooldown for my healing spell.
Only because
But yes,
I
so this is nice. Let's say let's get into a position where it would be useful. You need to go over a wall. It's not a bad way to get over a wall. And there are plenty of maps where being able to jump a wall is very important. Do note it is a 45-second cooldown, so that could make a difference. The damage isn't that bad, so if we throw in some minions, you can clear a wave. You have a large wave going. Okay, so toggle minions, not cooldowns. Whoops. Okay, so next, at level 13, we have Dissonance. Reduce the damage bonus of Sadism by 10%, but increase Discord Strike's silence duration by 0.75. So basically, a small, or a 50% bonus to your silence, 10% damage. Not actually a bad trade. We're not taking that right now. Increase the damage of telekinesis by 100%. It's not too bad. It's 300 damage, or that makes it 300 damage to everything, or 600 damage against heroes. Hindered motion. Reduce the damage of sadism, but telekinesis now slows enemies. Or pure malice. An allied hero dies near you. Sadism increases. This bonus sadism can't be consumed, but is lost on death. So, if you have an ally who's dying a lot, maybe a Murky or, just some of those stupid little heroes that just die constantly, great thing. Otherwise, I think Psychokinesis is just the way to go. So Pure Malice or Psychokinesis, kind of a toss coin, depending on the situation. Dissonance, I don't really personally like. It can be useful if you need to get behind and silence a medic or something, but I think for that 10% hindered motion, a nice little slow, especially with a ranged pool, much more valuable. So we're going to take Psychokinesis because a 600 damage push is nice. At level 16, Quick Mind, reduce the damage of sadism by 10% and the cooldown of telekinesis by 6 seconds. This drops it down to a 6-second cooldown. Projected Force, reduce the damage of sadism by 10% and increase the range of telekinesis by 25%. Sustained Power, increase the healing you receive from damage heroes. Increase the healing you receive from dealing damage to heroes with Lightning Surge by 30%. This is one of those awkward ones because it heals by 75%, and I'm not sure if that means it now heals by 105 or by 100%. I'm going to assume 100%, but sometimes the math in the engine gets a little weird. And Negatively Charged. Increase the damage dealt to enemies hit by the center beam of lightning by 100%, but does not generate any additional healing. So, this one basically comes down to bonus damage, more healing. More healing, in my opinion, is just always better. And at level 20, you get Counter-Strike. His other abilities are Last Laugh, reduce cooldown 20 seconds, and remove all roots and everything. Or Hasty Bargain. I don't like this ability, personally. I'll show it to you in the next build, and I'll also show you why I don't like it. But we're going to go with Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is pretty basic.
Onward.
You hit it, become immune to damage, and if a hero hits you, let's go ahead and activate a hero.
So goes the
Okay, I'm gonna let him clear out my points.
fine.
Come on, punch at me. So hard to show because they're really cautious. So if he hits you, you just blow him up for a ton of damage. Yeah,
Killing
deal
spree.
100% more damage. Or that's not what that should read.
Oh, predictable yet effective.
Come on. Okay. What it should read is channel for 1 second and become protected. After an enemy hits you, you send a shockwave that deals 812 damage. So, I'm going to heal up real quick.
I agree with this decision. I must leave, and I blame this failure upon you.
And we're actually going to play for real. Just kind of pushing the walls. Did turn on cooldowns.
My decrees are absolute.
Seriously?
Oh, predictable yet effective.
Come on, a little bit more. One nice thing about this is you can hold it for a while. So, like that, I knew he'd have to come back because you don't just stay fighting towers.
The choice is clear.
That was rather entertaining.
Onward.
Actually, I can kill that. They're out of mana, or they're out of rounds anyway. So as long as I can still Lightning Surge, which I have bonuses to, which is nice, I can just keep fighting, because I can just keep Lightning Surging.
Choice is clear. A waste of time and energy. Fine. Compose a challenge.
Mayhem.
As I desire.
What's really great about that is if you can end up getting hit by that, you can clear an entire way.
High Lord.
From here, I'll just wait for...
I decree.
And the wall is gone.
Frog destroyed.
Go and tell
Choose a
the others of the victory I have won here. More pressing affairs deserve my attention.
I kind of forgot that resetting talents doesn't send you back to your nexus anymore. Okay, so for this one, I'm gonna reduce statism. So, we're gonna kind of look through these a little bit. Gonna take double cross because I said I would.
This shall be the instrument of my wrath.
We're going to take counter strike because it is more effective and more useful than deadly charge.
Oh, I didn't realize I could grow more powerful.
Hindered motion. And here comes kind of one of those awkwards, like, huh. Think I'm gonna go with the quick mind just because faster cooldown. And we're going to take the hasty bargain.
The choice.
So as you can see, we're already down to 60%. Let's go ahead and toggle minions. However, I did get a nice little bit of abilities from it, just to show you the cross.
Oh, predictable yet effective.
So I do 60% more damage to heroes than not, which is still more than enough.
So goes the chain of ascension.
However, if there's ever a time I'm in need, and my cooldowns are down, I can just tap 1 and activate Hasty Bargain. Now, I'm only going to do that once at the moment. I shouldn't actually need to do it.
I agree with this.
Now, if you were looking through the talents, you might have noticed that these are both all or nothing builds. So this one's kind of the nothing build, and the other one's kind of the all build. And you could work between them. So if you would, for example, maybe take removed effort instead of applied force, but then still take in quickened mind, you'd have a much higher, like you would focus on one spell instead of more of focusing on a feature, I guess would probably be the right way to say it. You could have a much higher pool, but I'm more of showing off the styles, and it's up to y'all to find the best ways to do them. So as you can see, I don't quite have the same staying power because I don't have as big a heal. But I do have a little more aggressive poking power in the form of my slows.
Your killing spree has ended.
And there we go. So, back to what I was saying. The reason I don't like the hasty bargain is simply, just gotta take a couple of pops, since it's only 4% a go. However, once you hit 0%, there's nothing more you can do. You're just down to 0, and it doesn't come back.
Only because I will it.
And even the one talent that can give you additional cannot be consumed by Hasty Bargain. So I don't like Hasty Bargain. A lot of people seem to swear by it, but it just seems like a really, really bad idea to me. Anyway, gonna go ahead and reset
Choose
the
a
talents.
talent.
Fine.
And just kind of walk through this one more time.
Acceptable.
We're gonna play with it a little bit. We're gonna keep going there.
Yes, I like it.
I think we're gonna go with bonus. We're gonna reduce it a little bit. And we're gonna take that deadly charge. We're gonna turn on. So with this ability, very push heavy. As you can see, most of our talents have gone towards pushing.
am no one who pose a challenge. Fine.
I can't believe I missed that.
Yet effective. Your name shall be stricken from memory.
Oh, that was horrible.
So good.
I don't know why I've been so bad at timing. I'm just a little bit... You might have kind of noticed. I'm a little bit... I don't want to say rusty, but I've been a little bit off on my timings, like, all day.
I agree with you. Fine.
So, as you can see, Alarak isn't exactly the best pusher in the game.
Predictable, yet
He is a very powerful assassin, however. He does have some decent-ish pushing power in that he can he can wipe a lane, but his inability to influence a push directly outside of killing somebody who might wipe your minions is rather limited, which is a very big flaw. But as you can see, in a short matter of time, you can take out a pretty decent number of enemies.
Your killing spree has ended.
And I died again. That's horrible.
Your High Lord has returned. Only because I will it.
But anyway, hopefully this little demonstration has shown some of the marks that Alarak can be used for. It is a little regrettable that I wasn't actually able to do this like a month ago when he was a new hero, but you know, better late than never. And the whatnots. This has probably gone on way too long, but I kind of like this version. I've rambled a little bit, but I've also kind of gotten back into the swing of playing, which sounds horrible to say, but anyway, I hope you liked this little discussion on Alarak and some of his strengths and weaknesses, and I hope this gives you some ideas for your own personal plays. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go off, and have a nice day.